Hey everybody, it's Stephen the Old World Gamer, along with Scott and Devin Kane. Welcome to the Retro Indie Pixels podcast. Oh boy!
It's going to be a rough week, folks, because news has been a little, how do you say it? It's a little short and it's a little, there were a lot of not interesting things to talk about, so
Yeah,
you know how
really
it is. I mean, so it might be a little bit shorter, it might be, you know, we might be going on about things that we normally don't talk about, but you know, it's gonna be a different week. But I think that's okay. You know, just being a little different every once in a while is, you know, it's acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will go directly right into my news here.
Alright, and actually, before we start, for anyone out there who has been watching the podcast, when we first used to do it, we used to try to keep it around 2 hours. We're trying our best to try and not make it go over too much, but as you've seen the past few weeks and since we started, it's been over 2 hours every time. And for those who may not be aware, I always do include timestamps in the description of everywhere that I upload it to. So basically, you should be able to, you know, listen to up to a certain part and then return to it later, kind of thing. So I'm hoping that's going to help out some people. If not, we'll see what we can do about either shortening it up or finding some other solution for that as well. So
Right. So, yeah, I mean, any sort of critique, any sort of like feedback that you guys have would be appreciated, and we will definitely take everything that you guys say into consideration. All right, so just gonna go over this here quick. Armored Mewtwo is going to be appearing as a 5-star raid in Pokemon Go starting next week. Starting next week on July 10th, Pokemon Go players can go up against Armored Mewtwo in 5-star raids. This version of the Psychic-type Pokemon will only be available for battle for 21 days, so up until the end of July. The Pokemon's look appears to be based on its appearance in Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. Armored Mewtwo will be available starting July 10th to the 31st. The release times for July 10th and the end times for July 31st are all going to be the same. 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. EST, and 10 p.m. CEST. There is no real information on the raid as of right now, and we don't know whether or not Mewtwo is going to act any differently this time or not, so they'll have more information for you on the website when it goes live. So, I've seen what like the Armored Mewtwo looks like, so he looks pretty neat. So,
yeah.
For those of you who are looking to catch yourself a new Mewtwo for Pokemon Go, starting the 10th, which is Wednesday of next week, as of the podcast here, that we're on the 7th right now. So, you're going to have the entirety of the rest of July to be able to get yourself a Armored Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Nintendo Switch Online service now has over 10 million subscribers.
That's crazy.
The number of subscribers for Switch Online has steadily increased since the service launched in September 2018. Switch Online accounts now for the number over 10 million. Nintendo has announced the new milestone during its general meeting of shareholders this week. The figure is up from 9.8 million, which Nintendo revealed during its Q4 and fiscal 2018 results. Lifetime Switch sales are now sitting at 34.74 million units as of the last report, so there are still quite a few Switch owners who aren't using the service. However, Nintendo expects the number of subscribers to climb with offers to make the service attractive to users. One previous offer to subs included Tetris 99 back in February, and the company currently has a deal going for Twitch Prime members. The Nintendo Switch Online service includes access to NES titles and offers cloud backups. I am of the 10 million people who has Switch Online services. It's kind of required for a lot of games, like being able to play Tetris 99 online, or for instance, my wife and I play a lot of Diablo 3, and that also requires the online features for being able to play seasonal and that sort of stuff. And for what it's worth, it's $20 a year.
Oh fuck, that's nothing.
It's very, very reasonable.
Oh wow, so, yeah, that's super. That's like a little over $2 a month. If you can't afford that, and you can afford like 5 and 6 fucking subscriptions on Twitch, something wrong with you.
Yeah, so the service is absolutely fair. When it comes to like all the other subscription services like Xbox or PlayStation,
Oh, yeah.
which require like 6 months or year renewals, and those are like $60 to $80 a year. Like having $20 a year for the Switch Online is absolutely reasonable. And not only that, along with your Switch Online service, that, like they said, that they include access to a lot of NES titles, which Nintendo has said that they are going to expand on. And we're talking about like actual like big titles, like The Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, all the Mario Brothers.
They're talking about expanding outside of the NES, is what we went over last week.
That too.
So
and they're gonna also, and all these games are accessible for free. You know, you have like Punch Out, you got Blaster Master in there, you got a whole bunch of like really good games.
Oh, but Scott, what are you talking about? I can go and get an emulator. Yeah, but that's also illegal if you don't own the game. This is a legal way to be able to play these games. So,
and also, mind you, Switch is a handheld, so you have like a 6-hour car ride. Boom, grab your Switch with you, and you've got all these access to all these Nintendo titles.
Yep.
So that alone is worth the price of admission. The fact that you are going to be getting access to all these titles. Plus, along with these NES titles, they have specialty modes, which allow you to enter the game a little more powerful. Like I know Game Grumps did like an edition for The Legend of Zelda, which starts you off with like a whole bunch of hearts. Starts you off with max rupees, the blue ring, the white sword.
Jeez.
So if you're looking to just jump into the game and play, just for shiggles, it's like, here's all of the hearts from the overworld. You don't have to go looking for those. If you want to just go and dive into the dungeons and go, just do that, it's absolutely doable. So, and a lot of these games have a lot of those modes where, if you just want to like Punch Out starts you towards the end of the game.
I love how Scott abbreviated it as shiggles.
I use shiggles a lot.
Oh, it's good.
For what it's worth, Nintendo Switch Online is the best online service for its cost of any service that I've done so far.
I agree, and I don't own it.
Yeah, and $20 is absolutely freaking reasonable.
God, yes.
Shenmue III's PC minimum and recommended PC specs have been revealed. EastNet has updated the set of Shenmue III PC requirements that now that we're a bit closer to the launch. Though the developer may never officially publish PC specs in the past for Shenmue III, Kickstarter backers received emails with a set of minimum specs last month as a way to help them decide which platform to go for. Those haven't changed, but EastNet has added the recommended specs for the game. These are significantly more demanding than the minimum requirements, in some cases strangely so. It's not too out of the ordinary for most games, though. The only thing that continues to stick out is the 100 gig free space requirement.
That is crazy.
Which is true for both. The Shenmue III PC minimum specs are Windows 7 64, Windows 8 64, or Windows 10 64. So for Windows 10, the 64-bit OS is required. An Intel Core i5-4460, 3.4 gigahertz or better, or a quad core or better, 4 gigs of RAM, GeForce GTX 650 Ti or better, DirectX 11, broadband internet connection, 100 gigs of available space, and a DirectX 9C compatible sound card. Those are just the minimum requirements.
Now, I don't remember specifically, but if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Shenmue also one of the largest games for Dreamcast back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was kind of to be expected that, they're finally coming back with Shenmue 3, guys. They're probably going to add a lot of content. It got backed with a lot of money. The developers putting a lot of work and time into it. What do you expect? Games are getting bigger now. Are you going to say when the next Elder Scrolls comes out, like, oh, it's too big? Like, no. So the recommended specs are Windows 10, Intel Core i7-7700, 16 gig of RAM, a GeForce GTX 1070, DirectX 11, and everything else is the same. Broadband internet, 100 gig of available space, and a DirectX 9C compatible.
In other news, EastNet recently confirmed that it will refund backers disappointed in the game-going Epic exclusive. I will talk about that in a little bit. Shenmue III is due out November 19th on PC and for PS4.
Nice.
100 gig on the PS4, man, that is huge. I mean, I understand that, like we were just talking about, games are getting bigger, but you're going to have to buy an external for games like this because, like, a lot of these new games that are coming out for these for consoles are going to be these sizes, and Elder Scrolls is going to be
it's going to be this. I'm thinking Elder Scrolls is going to be along the 150, 200 gig range.
I actually think it's going to be bigger than that.
And I'm fine. I hope it is.
Especially since we talked about it like 2 weeks ago, where we said that the new Elder Scrolls game is supposed to last you 10 years.
Yeah.
So imagine how big a game that's going to be.
But you also have to realize, too, that might also include, like, hey, guys, we finally just finished this part, which is DLC, free DLC, and there's probably going to be paid DLC as well, which will probably, incur a lot more hard drive space. The one thing that actually kind of surprised me on this article is that they're not going to be releasing this on the Switch. I figured with the relationship that Sega and Nintendo had over the past few years that Shenmue would definitely try to come back there, but I guess where it's not made by Sega, obviously, then, that's probably the reason why, so.
Yeah, probably makes sense there. So, 2-year prison sentence has been handed out to the perpetrator of the DDoS attacks against Daybreak Games. 2-year sentence has been handed to an individual who had a role in the series of DDoS attacks against Daybreak Games, then known as Sony Online Entertainment. Austin Thompson has been sentenced to 27 months in prison for his role in the DDoS attack which occurred in 2013 and 2014. I do remember we did talk about that, like in the first time that we had the podcast, where we talked about like how a lot of the Sony stuff was offline because of attacks. Thompson pled guilty to the charges in November in 2018 and was sentenced yesterday. As part of his sentence, he has to pay $95,000 in restitution. The 2013 attacks were made by Thompson's group Derp Trolling and affected online games other than Sony Online Entertainment, known as Daybreak. These services included Battlefield.net, Dota 2, and League of Legends. Deep Trolling wasn't the only hacking group to target Daybreak Games. Lizard Squad also attacked the services for PlanetSide 2, H1Z1, EverQuest, and other Daybreak titles. The year prior, it even tweeted a bomb threat to the American Airlines, grounding a plane on which then company president John Smedley was due to travel. I think this is a step in the right direction. I think people who do this sort of stuff, I understand that for most people, this is going to be an inconvenience. This is going to be great, now my online game isn't available. I can't play League of Legends for a couple days. You have to understand that, outside of the inconvenience that it's given to the players, the companies who have to handle these sort of things go through so much chaos. They have, days.
Even though you might think, oh, well, I'm just going to lose a day or so, there's other people who are like, I'm going to miss a fucking day! And so they're freaking out.
Yeah. And I'm just talking about, like, the companies who have to try to fix these things that, that these people do. And, it may be like laughs and shits and giggles for these people, or shiggles, you know what I'm saying? These companies who suffer the DDoSes have to go through, like, just so much effort to try to get their stuff back online.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this sort of judgment and, like, these sort of prison sentences for people who are doing this sort of stuff is a step in the right direction because it will deter these other hacker groups from doing the same thing.
I don't know why these hacker groups are attacking these sorts of things to begin with anyways. Aren't there better things to attack on the internet? Isn't there still people out there with, like, child pornography and fucking, like, cutting people's heads off, murder videos? Like, go and attack that shit, man. Get that shit off the fucking internet. Like, why are you bothering with, like, oh, I'm not a big fan of Sony because I like Xbox, or whatever the case may be, or whatever the reasoning is. I don't like this guy, or I don't like how they're handling their company. Well, guess what? If you want to fucking change your company, go work for them and change it yourself. Don't fucking DDoS and all that shit. You're just affecting people just to be fucking dicks. Go do it to someone who needs to have it done to them.
Yeah. And it's usually like the popular things. Like I talked about, like Legends and Battlefield were the ones that were affected. So, it's always the popular games.
Oh, yeah.
of all of those. So, like I said, just being able to target these groups that are doing these sort of things is going to be a deterrent for people in the future to do the same thing. Moving on, the next Gran Turismo is already in development and will be a combination of past, present, and future. Polyphony Digital may still be hard at work creating regular content updates for Gran Turismo Sport, but it's already thinking about the next GT. Gran Turismo series creator Kazunori Yamauchi told GT Planet that the team is already working on the next game in the long-running series. Though he wouldn't say how far in development the game is, he hinted that it may take after GT Sport. I think in terms of races themselves and the physics, GT Sport has really reached in the best place that we've ever reached. We're at a very good place. On the other hand, obviously we're working on the next Gran Turismo already, and the world of sport we've achieved through Gran Turismo Sport is something I've always imagined to be the future of Gran Turismo. We were able to establish that now. In his travels, Yamauchi saw firsthand the impression classic Gran Turismo games left on fans worldwide, even if they may seem outdated by today's standards. For that reason, Yamauchi will endeavor to follow that history to play a part in the development of the next game. I think the next title that we're going to create will be a combination of past, present, and future, a complete form of Gran Turismo. Unsurprisingly, VR interests the legendary creator the most, as far as the next step forward in the franchise is concerned. The first thing that's going to be affected by more power is VR. I don't think that there's anything else that requires that much processing power. I really like VR. I'm one to believe that the possibilities of it, and it's very suited for a driving game. VR is something that really depends on the evolution of GPU power and the hardware for it, like display devices even. It's something where you can never have enough computing power. There's always going to be that hardware limit, and that limit is never going to be high enough for us. Obviously, that's going to gradually improve over time, and we'll make sure to follow that.
So, that kind of hints on what I was proposing last week with the PS5, being that they're going to focus more on high-end with VR and stuff. That kind of confirms it. If they're focusing on it.
Especially with a title which has been just like universally popular as Gran Turismo.
It is a solid racing game. I mean, I don't play that much racing games. I do like to play some from time to time. I've done some Need for Speed Underground too. I have played some Gran Turismo, and I always have fun with them. I really do.
Oh yeah,
but I'm no car person.
Yeah, racing is always one of those it's never going to be an unpopular genre for when it comes to gaming. And taking a franchise like Gran Turismo, which has always been from day one a super popular series, even back in its roots in PlayStation 1, just moving it on to the next level where it's past, present, and future. It's saying that bringing the game to a virtual reality setting where you're going to be able to sit down on your couch and feel like you're actually going to be in one of these souped up muscle cars and racing at 200 miles an hour. I think that's going to be a really new and exciting experience for fans of the Gran Turismo series.
Oh, definitely. And that's what makes that's going to make a lot easier for VR, because you don't have to move if you're using VR for a car. You're literally just looking around and checking your rearview mirror and stuff like that. There's none of this oh, I gotta move around. Oh, just knock shit off the coffee table. Oh, there goes half the kitchen. There's none of that. You're literally just gonna be sitting there looking around, just checking shit out. Which it makes sense for VR to be with something like racing games. It really does.
Right.
Same thing with shoot 'em ups. Shoot 'em ups like Star Fox, when you're going through space and stuff. Ooh. That would be fucking awesome in VR.
Ooh, boy, would I love that. So, moving on, Cuphead the Delicious Last Course expansion is unfortunately being delayed. Cuphead the Delicious Last Course has been delayed until 2020.
Oh, damn.
Studio MDHR has announced the delay for Cuphead's The Delicious Last Course expansion. According to the studio, the delay will ensure that the DLC is a great experience when it comes out. While we initially announced the 2019 release date for Delicious Last Course expansion, our highest priority is making sure that this new adventure meets the meticulous level of care and quality we always strive for at the studio. We want to be absolutely certain that this next adventure feels at home in the world of Cuphead and is full of moments that surprise and delight players. Furthermore, the development of the original game taught us a great deal about the importance of making things in a way that's healthy and sustainable for our team. This wasn't an easy decision to make, but we're confident in It's one that will result in a higher quality experience that's all the sweeter when it does arrive. The Delicious Last Course brings a new island, new weapons, charms, bosses, and the new playable character, Miss Chalice. Originally slated for a release this year, Cuphead The Delicious Last Course now has a 2020 release window. I think this is a good idea. I think it's, if you're not satisfied with, how DLC is coming out, it's okay to delay it. I mean, take, Bloodstained, for example, how long that got delayed. But I think it really made for a better game.
Of course it does.
I mean,
I don't know why they put deadlines on themselves anyways. Everyone's going to be much more happier. Yes, it's going to seem shitty if I gotta wait extra long, wah. But you're going to be much happier when you get a game that's you're not complaining about and spending time complaining about, as opposed to, you got to me super fast, yeah, what the fuck is wrong? Why is this like this? Why is this like this? Okay, to click-clack, gotta go write these guys up, wait around, see what they gotta say. Are they gonna fix it? They've got a new fucking fix for a new update. This wasn't fixed, now this has changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, just take your time. I don't know why you would rush to begin with.
Right. Better just to take your time and make sure that your game is of higher quality than to just push it out there and just have people complain about it.
Yep.
I think that's what made Bloodstained so visually impressive as it was, because they did take that extra time. Because Igarashi actually put out a video just showing how much different the graphical quality was for the game, and compared from the old to the new, it just looks so fantastically better than it was. So, like I said, I was I'm really chomping at the bit to get to the game, but I was more than happy to wait that little bit of extra time to get a game that was so much more visually beautiful than it would have been if we had just got the game early. So, quick overview here for the new Hearthstone set, Saviors of Oldham. What's coming next in Hearthstone? The new Hearthstone expansion was announced yesterday evening. The release of Saviors of Oldham will mark the arrival of the usual 130 or so new cards, a new keyword mechanic called Reborn, and a new card type called Plagues. Thematically, this marks the return of 2015 League of Explorers set, with Reno and friends doing their bit to resist the ongoing assault from the gang who ran off with Dalaran in April's Rise of Shadows expansion. In Saviors of Oldham Guide, we've got the lowdown on everything that's coming to Hearthstone when the expansion lands since the start of August. First things first, the Saviors of Oldham will launch for Hearthstone on Tuesday, August 6, 2019. We've not yet heard information about the expansion's solo content, but it will likely launch a few weeks after the date once everyone's had a chance to play around with the new cards. Plague cards, the Rise of Shadow introduces the Scheme card, which grows in power each turn that passes. Saviors of Oldham will add Plague cards to the mix. These powerful spells will be available exclusively to Priest, Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, and Warrior classes, and all of them have a big impact on all minions on both sides of the board. One example provided so far is Plague of Death. This 9-mana Priest card silences, then destroys all minions on the side on the board when played. Note that the silencing effect will take care of any death rattlers or buffs in the effect before the minion is evaporated from the board. The new keyword Reborn is the new keyword from Saviors of Oldham. Minions who possess this mechanic spawn a version of themselves when killed, but the replacement only has 1 point of health. So, buyers beware if you're playing against, a mage. Quest cards are also making a comeback with Saviors of Oldham. First introduced with Journey of Ungoro set, these special cards challenge you to meet certain criteria in exchange for a juicy new hero power. The Druid, for example, receives untapped potential. Finish 4 turns with mana left in the bank, and your hero power will be replaced with Osirian Tier. This passive effect triggers both on the Choose One effects on subsequently played cards. The Warlocks get Supreme Archaeologist. After drawing 20 cards, you will receive Tome of Origination. Use this to draw a card from your deck, and that card will cost 0. When Saviors of Oldham launches, the following card sets will form the drafting pools for Hearthstone's Arena mode, which will be Basic, Classic, League of Explorers, Journeys of Ungoro, Kobolds and Catacombs, Rastakhan's Rumble, and Saviors of Oldham. Let me just preface my going over this here, that I haven't played Hearthstone in a while. I've been playing a lot of Magic Arena, so I will talk very little about this, but it looks like these new play cards are going to be an interesting new way of playing some of the some of the classes that may not have as much love for them. Like this Plague of Death looks really good. Silence and Destroy means that like all of your opponent's abilities that just have the death rattle effects are not going to be useful anymore. But it's going to be an interesting new set. I may just jump in there to open a couple packs, play some games just to see how it is. So, moving on. Oh yeah. So now we're going to be going into that little portion of the Shenmue III news that I very briefly talked about. Shenmue III backers are unhappy over Epic Games Store limited exclusivity. Can request a refund. Shenmue III was revealed as an Epic Games Store exclusive during E3 2019. Backers who were displeased with this decision can ask for a refund, according to Ghislan. Along refunds, the studio and its publishers Deep Silver are offering alternative options to a refund. One is a key for the original distribution method, Steam. There's one caveat. Backers will have to wait a year to receive it. This is due to time exclusivity with the Epic Games Store. Backers can also request a physical copy of a key instead. However, the disc will contain an EGS installer and not the actual game data. A Steam key can be requested alongside the physical copy, but again, it will be a year wait. Alternatively, PC users can also have the option to request a PS4 copy of the game instead. That we are not able to offer Steam keys for Kickstarter rewards at the time of the game's release is a great disappointment and inconvenience for those backers who were expecting to receive them, reads the Kickstarter update. We deeply apologize for the unrest caused by the announcement. Below is a breakdown of the offers available if you do not wish to request a refund. The PS3 and PS4 options are the version availability, the PC physical package plus disc and Epic Store game key, a PC digital, which is a Epic's Game Store key. Again, you can choose the option to also receive a Steam key, which will be available a year later, PS4 physical package disc, and the PS4 PSN voucher code. Should the above proposal not be acceptable to backers, said EastNet, refund requests will be honored, in some cases depending on the reward tier, and because the in-game content has been created and implemented, a full refund may not be possible. A new player survey will go live soon, and in the survey, backers need to manually select the Steam key option to receive the key. Details concerning the refund request process will be announced in an upcoming update.
All I have to say is that if you back a game, you shouldn't be able to request a refund. You should get the game and that's it. That's it. You're done. There's none of this getting a refund. Why should you give a refund? You put your trust and, confidence into this developer. That's it. You're done. You back them. You should be happy that you're getting the game to begin with, or whatever else.
I think the only, they were saying, the caveat is that, the whole having to wait an extra year to get the game paid for. I think that's, I agree with you about the whole not getting the refund part, or the refund back for your Kickstarter, if that didn't exist.
Yeah.
I think with that existing, I think in this case, the refunds, I think, are okay. For kickstarting for Bloodstained, I understand that I had to wait a long time to get the game, but at the same time, it's I supported it. I am going to have to wait till the game comes out. Knowing that there's going to be a release and then I have to wait a year, I don't know. That's a little different. I'm kind of interested to see how this puts an asterisk on how much the Kickstarter record for Shenmue is going to be affected at this point. So, I guess we'll have to see in the option or in the future what options the record books are going to take for something like this. I don't know, man. This is just, for me, it seems like it's going to be a little thorn in the side for some of these players who have put in all of this money and time, and then being able to say some people are going to get a refund but some people aren't going to get a full refund. It's
well, I mean, that's for certain things too. I would imagine certain levels is what they were talking about.
Right.
Different tiers, meaning oh hey, we're going to send you a physical copy of the art that was done and all this stuff. Like, yeah, are you going to send back that art? Because unless you're going to do that, you're probably not going to get fully refunded for it. You know,
Right.
I mean, why would you get to keep stuff and then get a full refund? It doesn't even make sense. But yeah, I feel that if you're Kickstarting, if someone goes and, you know, puts funds towards your Kickstarter, that's it. That's their decision. If they decide the next day that, I kind of made a bad choice, too bad. You've already made that choice. Like, you don't just eat a bag of chips and then say, nah, I didn't really like that. I just want my money back now, even though the chips are gone. Like, no, you don't fucking do that.
Huh, some people do.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, anyway, Nintendo Switch Mini leaks once again thanks to an accessory maker. Nintendo Switch Mini rumors are swirling yet again as with another peripheral manufacturer jumping the gun. Reports say that a smaller, more budget version of the Nintendo Switch have been kicking off since as early as April. Though not much is known about the device itself other than its position in the market as a 3DS, 2DS replacement, everyone but Nintendo seems to be happy to leak its existence. After Spanish Game accidentally listed accessories designed for the Switch Mini, another manufacturer has now revealed a case designed for the upcoming console. An image of Big Ben's silicone sleeve designed for the Switch Mini, as well as the package itself, have leaked. You could see them all below, with the packaging clearly carrying the Mini label, though the Switch Point 2 branding is a bit bizarre. You can see those things right there. As you can see, the design is identical to that of the current Switch model, albeit a bit smaller. It doesn't look like the Joy-Cons will be detachable, and sadly, none of the complaints about the D-pad look to have been addressed. Yeah, this is what I've been saying all along. Like, a couple weeks ago, how Nintendo was saying, hey, we still fully support the 3DS and blah, blah, blah. And now this is a thing?
It's a Friday night and I need a silicone glove.
Right. I don't know, man. I think this is learning more and more about the Switch Mini is just making me more and more believe that this is going to be what replaces the 3DS.
Well, the other thing, sorry I switched up the news page there, but the other thing is that I hope that if they're putting out a Mini that they're not going to make it less powerful than the original system.
Right. I mean, I don't know how they could, but, I mean, this is Nintendo. You know, the 3DS was already, a really powerful system even for its size. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, look at how small this thing is. Play this here Zelda game, a full-fledged Zelda game, So, anyway, moving on. Twitch Prime members are going to get GTA Online and Red Dead Redemptions this month. Teaming up with Rockstar for big promotion for Premier users, Twitch Prime subscribers who also play GTA Online and or Red Dead Redemption on PC, PS4, or Xbox One are set to receive a bunch of free goodies this month. All you need to do is link your Rockstar Social Club account for your Prime sub Twitch account by July 19th to reap the rewards.
No.
This can once you do, the first set of rewards will be deposited into your account. The stipulation is that you need to have finished the tutorial mission and played for at least 30 minutes in either GTA Online or Red Dead Online, or both. First and most immediate rewards is $1.25 million in GTA Online, $300 in Red Dead Online, and superior ammo bundle in Red Dead Online includes 30 dynamite arrows, 60 incendiary buckshot ammo, 30 volatile fire bottle, and 200 express ammo for the pistol, revolver, repeater, and rifle. But that's not all. Twitch Prime members will also get weekly discounts on premium items bought through the in-game store in either game, plus an additional 10% off all weekly discounted items. They also get up to 15% bonus value when buying shark cards or gold bars. This is just the first wave, so make sure you're signed up before July 19th to be able to claim the future offers. So, yeah, the Twitch, Red Dead, GTA Online, get your stuff.
Yeah.
Not much else to say about that. Skybound has announced The Walking Dead, the TellTale Definitive Series. Woof. Skybound Entertainment announced today that it's launching a definitive edition of TellTale's The Walking Dead series containing all 4 seasons and DLC. The Walking Dead Telltale Definitive Series launches September 10th for PS4, Xbox One, and PC via the Epic Game Store. It includes the series' 4 seasons, 400 days DLCs, and the Walking Dead Michonne 3-part miniseries. This is the definitive edition, though, so the package includes a ton of bonus content too. There will be 10 plus hours of developer and VO artist commentary. Additionally, Skybound has made gameplay improvements to character performance and lip syncing in the UI. The new graphic black art style brings Season 4's enhanced visual style to its preceding seasons, including full dynamic lighting to episodes that previously did not receive the upgrade. You can check out the graphic black art style in the video we're showing right now. And let me just tell you how thrilled I am to have been able to get through this article and say the name Michonne correctly. Yeah, Michonne. I didn't say Mishni, which let me educate you guys something. I don't know shit about The Walking Dead, okay? So I saw the name and I'm like, anybody who actually likes The Walking Dead is going to be offended if I say this name correctly. So I went and I researched how to phonetically say Michonne. I don't know. But going back to what we were actually talking about, Telltale games are going to start very slowly but surely, become unavailable because of how we reported a few weeks back how developer is no longer a thing. So being able to get your hands on these Telltale series, if you haven't already, these are going to be the only way to get these things. So if you don't have these games and you are interested in the Walking Dead Telltale series, now's the time to do it. Moving on, and I actually really wanted to talk about this, and I don't know why.
Almost reported this last week.
Flappy Royale is the Flappy Bird Battle Royale. Flappy Bird? Huge. Battle Royale? Huge. So this feels right. Flappy Royale is a playable online, in the link in the description. If you guys, we have all the links to all the articles, so the link will be there, or it can be downloaded onto your Android or iOS. You need test flight to be able to play it on an iPhone. And it's exactly what you think. You tab or click flapped bird wings to fly between pipes, competing against 99 other birds. It's not entirely clear how the multiplayer element actually works. New games load immediately and the pipes are randomly generated. But you're competing against the ghostly images of 99 other players.
Yeah. And
it works. It's quick, it's easy to get the grips with, and if you make it past the first 5 pipes, you're probably going to place pretty well. There's also a daily challenge mode where everyone competes on the same level to try to get a high score. It's developed by Orta Therox and M. Laser Walker, with contributions by Zach Gage. Dong Win, the developer of Flappy Bird, is seemingly not involved. Flappy Bird is a game with a fascinating history, having been pulled from the store at the peak of its popularity because of Win's fear that the game was addictive and would harm its players. The game never returned, although the App Store is full of clones. Flappy Royale, at least, is offering a bit different. I mean, everything's getting Battle Royale games now, man.
Hey,
everything.
I reported on the Mario one that turned into Infringio Royale, and I watched Cool Kid play that for a while, and it did look fun. It really does. All these Royale games are kind of fun. I'm just waiting for them to do it for Mega Man and Castlevania and fucking Metroid and Zelda. You know they're going to do it eventually. And they're going to still get this, infringement fucking thing, so you might as well just make clone-ish type games of this shit.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, just kind of recap something we had from last week. Summer Games Done Quick stream raised over $3 million with Doctors Without Borders. The Summer Games Done Quick stream, hosted by Twitch, challenged numerous players to speedrun through a variety of games and allowed viewers to donate money while watching to enter the running for various prizes. All the money raised going to Doctors Without Borders is an independent global organization that aims to provide healthcare where it's most needed throughout the world. Although the stream has ended, you still can donate. As of right now, the event has raised over $3 million, absolutely eclipsing any number the event has ever achieved before. Their YouTube channel is full of videos from the stream. there are plenty more where those videos came from if you've got the time. GDQ has run since 2010 and is the most any single event has raised. The previous record was set in January when Awesome Games Done Quick Stream raised $2.442 million to prevent Cancer Foundation. The next stream event will be Games Done Quick Express, done on September 27th to the 29th. That line right there, the Games Done Quick Express on September 27th to 29th is like 95% of the reason we're going over this again. But if you guys haven't just watched any Games Done Quick stuff, these guys that are playing on this are absolutely amazing, and the fundraising that they do for these with these events are huge. And it's like Prevent Cancer Foundation, Doctors Without Borders, and all these monies just go to like really good charities. So
indeed,
if you haven't watched, the donations not only go to these really good events, but a lot of all the donations put you in for a raffle towards prizes that are donated to Games Done Quick. And some of these prizes are like super big. I mean, I remember they gave away like a pinball machine like last year or something like that.
Yeah, they have, and they pretty much give out different prizes throughout different parts of the entire event. So you're not just stuck with like, oh, I can only win this. No, there's like, this amount of timer for this game. These are some of the prizes you can win while you're donating, and these are some prizes you can win during this game. This helps bring in more money because, yeah, you also get to win a prize, but you're also donating towards a good cause, which is pretty awesome. Right. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna try my best to try and get there for next year. That would be awesome.
We'll cover it. All right.
Oh yeah, I'll do live podcasting.
Oh yeah. All right, and the last little bit of information, news that I have here is something that I kind of am interested in. Bandai Namco has announced Blue Protocol, a new online RPG.
Scott.
Yes.
You do know I mentioned this last week, right?
Did we?
Oh, yeah.
Protocol?
Yeah.
Did we?
Oh, 100%. It was one of my news segments, dude.
Oh. Did talk about this?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's supposed to be a new big RPG.
Oh, crap. We did go over this. Now let's see the picture again. Hey, by the way, guys, Blue Protocol, Bandai Namco. I really won't play this game.
Oh, God. Good stuff.
It's gonna run on Unreal Engine 4, and it looks pretty cool. And we're gonna go over to world record.
Oh God, that was good stuff though. I'm not
gonna yeah. Okay, you're right. We totally did. See, this is what happens when you give the news section to a guy who has like the short-term memory of a goldfish. I'm just throwing that out there. So I got speedrun.com ready, and explanations are going to come on the rapid. So if you need to know anything about what the hell we're talking about, I got your back, Stefan. Let's do this.
All right. Let's see.
Sorry.
We have. Oh no, it's not a big deal. All right. So world records for the NES this week. Oh well.
Oh boy.
Get ready for that
Mappy Land, guys. Get ready for Mappy Land.
Yeah, Jesus, man. Alright, so first up, I'm pretty sure this was done at SGDQ, actually. Jackal, any percent 2-player. 7 minutes, 55 seconds by Rat Dog and Super Pitfro. Next up, we have Quattro Pro, Linus Spacehead, any percent. 922 by High Rexon. Next up is Castlevania 3, any percent. 1513 by SBD Wolf. Mappy Land Baseball percent. 651 by 01 Ogopogo.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know what baseball percent is, there are different things. It is cheese percent and baseball percent. Baseball percent. And all it is that you just beat the game or beat all the stages of the last story. So the game's complete when you beat 4A. So, yeah, that.
Alright, and these switched hands a couple times, so we're just going to go with the most recent, which was Ogopogo with a 651. Next up is Mappy Land Christmas percent.
All right, so Christmas percent is beating all the stages in the third story. So if you haven't noticed a little bit of a thing here, there's cheese scent percent, wedding percent, Christmas percent, and baseball percent. It's just beat all the stages in a particular story.
Yeah. Next, Christmas percent was done in 4 minutes 55.39 seconds by 01 Ogopogo. Next up, again, I was very happy to see the person who got it last week. Not so interested in this one because it's another video with Here's My Time. Donkey Kong, Game A1 Loop, 1 minute 3.229 seconds by Captain Speedruns. They use an FCEUX emulator, but they don't use the button input while they're doing it. Not a big fan of that kind of stuff, personally. But I am not the entirety of the speedrunning community, so... next up is Darkwing Duck, Pacifist percent. 14 minutes, 6 seconds by I48B. Next is Dragon Spirit Gold Dragon percent. 14 minutes, 8.166 seconds by Mr. Pup G. Exodus Journey to the Promised Land, first 10 levels. 11 minutes, 38 seconds by Max to PJ. Next is Metroid Category Extension 100% Deathless New Game Plus. Done in 36 minutes, 3 seconds by Bread for Brunch.
Guy
is a fucking monster.
He is an absolute freaking beast
for Metroid, yeah. Dude
and like a lot to say with like when I was doing my speed runs for Metroid, he was like literally one of the most helpful dudes ever. So if you haven't seen any of his streams, go check him out. He is an awesome dude and worth watching.
And speaking of Mr. Bread for Brunch, we also have Metroid Category Extension 100% Deathless No Major Glitches in 49 minutes 7 seconds by the same guy, Bread for Brunch.
I could barely beat that with the glitches. Like, holy shit, man.
Next up is Dragon Warrior 4 Any Percent, done in 6 hours, 4 minutes and 55 seconds by the Countess. Next is Mario Bros. 2, Category Extensions, all levels Mario only, done in 33 minutes 20 seconds by Stewie Cartman. Next up is Kabuki Quantum Fighter, Any Percent, done in 10 minutes 9 seconds by Pikachu.
Just by Pikachu. Like,
yeah,
no
Ash wasn't even helping.
It was just a Pikachu.
Yeah. None in particular, just a Pikachu. Golf Grand Slam Tournament Percent, done in 13 minutes 45 seconds by Burst Error. No, I didn't have this one yet. Okay. Mappyland Cheese Percent, done in 4 minutes 14 seconds by 01 Ogopogo. Up next is Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf Japan Course, 13 minutes 35 seconds by Matt Holmes. Next,
if you haven't played Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf, go check out my my YouTube channel. I play a little bit of that. So that's actually a pretty hard golf game, I will say.
Yeah. I don't think I've played it much growing up or anything myself. Up next is Solomon's Key, Any Percent, 12 minutes 30 seconds by Metroid McFly. Next is Zelda's 2, 100% Deathless in 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 1 second by Simple Dude.
Wow.
Castlevania 2, Any Percent, Famicom Disk System, 4 minutes by Sathdresh.
4 minutes?
Yeah, that's what I thought. So there must be some huge glitches in the Famicom Disk System.
You probably just have to be able to go right to Dracula.
Just walk. The walk is most of the run.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is City Connection all levels in 13 minutes 54 seconds by Bismarck. Next is Ikari Warriors 3 Any Percent, done in 15 minutes 7 seconds by Uncle Adork. When I went to speedruns.com, because it was showing without a video, and so I went to speedruns.com, and it's on a different, it's on some type of Asian website instead. It looks like it could be Chinese browser or website or something, so you might have to do translation there, but yeah, it is a legitimate. There has been some people who have like submitted, oh, here's a new world record for this game, and then it announces it, and then it's like, nope, there's no video, so how do you have a world record?
What was the name of the new person?
Uncle Adork.
Okay, yeah.
And our go ahead.
Yeah, send you over to this site called billybilly.com.
Yeah, and it's all like Asian characters
But,
or kanji. Or
getting
whatever.
through any Ikari Warrior game like that fast is pretty impressive.
Oh god, yes.
I don't know if you've ever played an Ikari Warrior game, but they're pretty tough.
And the last, you might want to look this one up, by the way. Super Mario Bros. Category extensions. 144 fireworks.
That probably means math quick here. Calculator. There's 32 levels times 6, which is how many you say?
144.
144. All right, I will quickly go over to Super Mario Brothers. At least I was trying to. Super Mario Brothers. Miscellaneous. I don't see it. Is it Warpless or?
No, Super Mario Bros. Category extensions.
I have Warpless 80% All Stars and Warpless All Stars.
Anyways, it was done in 20 minutes 48.095 seconds by GT Ace 99. But yeah, that would be 3 times 8 is 24. 24 times 6. That would be it, wouldn't it? Because remember, all your last stages are castles, so you can't get fireworks on them, so...
Oh, right.
So, yeah, 24, and then 6 cannon blasts, or firework blasts, or whatever, for each of those levels would be 144.
It is 144, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so that just means that you literally have to hit the flagpole on a 6 at the end of every level.
Yeah. In case you're wondering, 6 seconds left on your timer.
Yep.
Alright, and that is it. That's the world records for this week. Let me just save them so I can timestamp them later. And up next, oh, everyone's favorite part. Oh, it's my discovery queue on Steam.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be
discovery
good.
Time, boys. It's your favorite. It's my favorite part. We're about to trash some fucking games that look like dog shit. Let's go.
All right, now this first one already, I'm liking the title behind, so I'm excited for this one. I don't know what it is. Hell is other. Oh wait, didn't we see something similar to this?
I think we saw Hell is Other Demons last week.
No, I don't know if it was in this though. Was it?
We definitely saw this game last week.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was in the queue or if I seen it somewhere else. So
yeah, it was we definitely saw it last week, but still looks good.
I might have to double up on my queue then. Have to show me fucking stuff I already seen. Oh,
All right.
What?
Whoa.
What the fuck?
Uh-oh. Whoa.
Let's refresh here real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, let's view my queue. Okay. Let's begin. Stop it!
Apparently, it's not Steam's favorite version of the podcast.
Okay, good. Look, it's letting me move No, we're definitely gonna have to go through again. Look at this shit. I'm pretty sure we done this one last time. Look at the next game.
Is this the same queue?
It looks like it, yeah.
No! Our Steam queue!
So I have to respond to all of these right now. Ignore. Oh, it looks like I only got 2 more left. Alright. Omni Footman. Ignore.
Yeah, these are the same ones! Oy! Steam, what are you doing?
Ignore.
Heroin of the
Alright,
Sewer.
let's start another queue!
Yeah, how about
Right?
that?
There we go! Stranger Things 3, the game. Pixel graphics.
Yay!
Action adventure, okay.
I will now openly admit that I don't know a damn thing about Stranger Things, so
No.
I really can't give any input. This kind of gives me like an XCOM sort of feel, I suppose.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's real time though. Like there's no like stopping for turns or anything. Like it's almost like a beat 'em up.
Yeah, right.
Isometric beat 'em up, which is rare.
There was an old PlayStation game that I think it's called Project Overkill. That was an isometric game like that, and I really liked that sort of stuff. So it wasn't turn-based or anything, so it was, for me, this was like a really enjoyable game. So I would say that this could be something really good.
Yeah, I can play this.
Yeah.
Storm Chasers. Be one of those intrepid storm chasers in this online multiplayer. Your goal is to shoot the best Twister pictures without dying because of powerful winds and flying debris. Not debris.
So it's Pokemon Snap Tornado version.
Yes. Look at this. Oh god, my arms are cut off. Holy shit.
Holy Jesus, Stefan, what did you do? Man, you
Twister FM. What the fuck?
You really should get that looked at.
7 days to die?
What the fuck?
Oh, ooh, wow! Look at those rain drops.
Why?
Oh, there's a tomato coming at you. Get in the truck and see how far you can fly. Just hold on to something. Activating probe. Yes, bye. Yes, there you go. Take a picture of it, bye. Oh my god, it's coming. Yeah, I'd say it is.
Yep, there you go. You got your picture, you stupid ass.
And does it chase you then after? Or no, you're still taking pictures? That's a good one. Oh yeah. Go, boy. What are you doing? Refueling? What? Okay, I'm sorry.
So this is Pokemon Snap.
Ignore. I'm sorry. I'm not playing that game. Oh! The world is your weapon. Alright, this is a new game that I've seen recently that I wanted to check out because it looked like it might have been good. It was just recently released. What? The world is your weapon. Okay.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Did she just literally pick up a goblin and start swinging it?
That's it.
Oh,
yep.
They literally mean. They literally mean the world is a weapon. You.
I can see this working. This looks fun. I bet you a different thing. Well, I mean, when she was using the fridge, it had an ice effect, so that's kind of unique.
She's beating people with a lake? What?
What's wrong?
Okay. Yes, please. That's awesome.
More than 300 kinds of weapons. Aim to complete the weapon gallery. That's awesome. I would play that. World is your weapon. That's kind of cool.
That is cool. I like that. That's a
Golden
great
treasure,
idea.
the Great Green. For those who carry dragons in their hearts, hunt, explore, survive, and become great among the true children of sun and earth. Okay. Gameplay, please. Please. Gameplay. No, I don't need fancy picture.
What am I looking? Problem is, I think you're looking at the game.
This is a fucking, like, a visual now, isn't it? Ah! I'm not playing this! No! Ignore. I'm sorry. Oh.
Man, it looked nice, but we got 19 XDX, man. The Houdini Redux.
It is an easy-to-learn typing party game in which two players fight each other to gather the title of Grand Magus. Oh. I thought they were trying to spell your name.
Right?
Let me just hit ignore and go to a game that we want to see, maybe. Impale your friend. No! I don't want to be fucking... No. Nope. I'm sorry. I mean, it's cool that what you're doing. You know, cool effects. Yeah. Awesome. Party games. But you're literally making me a cube? That is fucking the easiest thing ever.
Exactly like the stick battle game.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I'm not doing it. Legionary's life. Okay. That you play as a Roman soldier during the years of the Second Punic War and beyond. Win pursues the war, focus on making it home in one piece. It's up to you. Okay. But again...
You said...
Alright, now, can I see some actual gameplay? I don't mind text-based stuff sometimes, but like... See, me and Steve would nerd over this. I know that right now, because it's mostly text-based. But, yeah. I don't want to say I would ignore it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it, either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Soviet Souls. Alright, this looks like a cool... What the fuck?
Alright.
This looks like a cool platformer so far.
Like a Stalin?
Yeah, of course.
What the fuck? So this is like Russia's answer to Pro Force.
I guess so. Oh!
What the?
I know, right? This doesn't look horrible. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't look.
It doesn't. It doesn't look horrible. I'm so entertained by the fact that this is just a Russian Pro Force.
Soviet Souls. I would actually play that.
I would too. I would too. That actually looked pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure oh no, this is a new one. I have some of the sniper games. I've never played them. I'm pretty sure I gave some of them away.
I can't get into these sort of games. I don't know.
Now, don't get me wrong. Usually in these types of war games where you actually, you're not playing against a billion fucking people, I like playing as a sniper because it's just more fun in my opinion. But again, not for me. I wouldn't ignore it, but yeah. No. I don't even need to see a video for that. I don't need it. Violent gore, surreal action adventure.
Killer 7? Wait. That's Killer 7's an old game. Killer 7 was that the Dreamcast, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
Oh, GameCube. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
This isn't a new game. It came out in 2005.
I guess they must have remastered it or something.
It must be remastered. Yeah.
It doesn't look terrible, but again, it's not something that I would. Oh yeah, they're even showing it their GameCube 4.3 compared to.
Oh yep, so they are. Yeah. All right.
I mean, it doesn't look bad or anything, but again, it's just that much of a game.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh god, if you like pinball, Demon's Tilt.
Ooh. To say that I like pinball is an understatement.
I'm not surprised at all, Scott.
Ooh.
All the fucking genres of games that you like are like genres that I don't go out of my way to play.
Like going to an arcade and playing pinball, oh man.
I won't lie. I will say that every time I go to an arcade, if there is at least one pinball machine there, I will play it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I just feel respect for the pinball machine. It was the original arcade before arcades were actually a thing.
Right. I aspire to one day own a Black Knight 2000 machine. In my opinion, I think it's one of the best pinball machines ever made. It's nothing like revolutionary. It's nothing like super special. But the sound that it has in the game, like the soundtrack and the music for Black Knight 2000 is real good. Real good. And I am definitely, this is called Demon's Tilt?
Yep, Demon's Tilt.
I'm literally going to write this down.
I can't remember what game it was, but I went, I work as a cable technician. I went to a customer's home one time, and I went to fix something for him. And anyways, when I was in their basement looking over the lawns coming into the house, I'm like, wait, is that what I think it is? So I moved a couple of clothes that's on top of it. Lo and behold, here's a pinball machine. I do remember it was something popular, like, I don't want to say Star Wars. I know it wasn't the Star Trek one because I seen that at another house, but it was something popular either way. So I was just like, oh man. And yeah, they just had it down there, and they were like, yeah, no, we don't really use it or have it anymore. We used to have it in a bar that we used to own or something. I was like, oh, okay, is like, you guys doing anything with it? If you're not, I'll fucking take it. And anyways, they were gonna get back to me. They never did, and that was disappointing. So, but yeah.
I definitely at one point in my life want to own my own pinball machine.
I'd pinball an arcade preferably for myself. I would love if I could have any kind of thing like that. It would be an X-Men arcade, just because of the double monitor, the bigger fucking platform there, so that you can have 4 players. But it wasn't like the NBA Jam 4 players where you're all like, "Hey, dude, can you get out of my pocket?" Like, you actually had a lot of room. You could sit down and fucking drink on the X-Men one and still have lots of room to fucking play the game. Yeah, that thing was a magnificent thing. But they're expensive and hard to find, so.
Yeah, one of the arcades that's in my area actually has one of the screen X-Men games, and playing on that is fucking X-Men, welcome to fucking die.
Yeah, really.
Welcome to die. If you have not played the arcade version of X-Men, you are missing out. And it actually has one of my favorite X-Men, and she's like super like unknown, and for some reason showed up in that game as Dazzler. And,
oh, really?
Oh, I don't know why she randomly showed up in like that arcade game, but like the first time I played it, I'm like, I'm gonna play a Psycho. Dazzler? Oh yeah!
That's because you probably had a boner for it.
That too. I mean,
of course. Anyways, we're gonna move on to my news. I don't have too much news this week. It was a bit of a slower week, but first we're gonna hit up the indie retro news. First up, Powerblade, a seriously cool-looking ZX Spectrum game, gets a new teaser. So we're just gonna go
take a look-see here.
Okay, they're gonna get right into it here. So this is the ZX Spectrum. Now, usually a lot of stuff we've seen for ZX Spectrum has looked very basic. This actually looks fantastic. This is what makes me want a ZX Spectrum. And look at that background that's coming up here. Oh, they just touch on. Wow. This is why I like the ZX Spectrum. The colors are just so fucking nice. And like even the pixel art, like this is some basic pixel art, but it looks so good, and you know what everything is.
Huh.
Oh,
that looks really good.
Oh god! Oh, she's freaking out. That's what happens when you shoot people, man.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god! She's coming right for us.
Oh shit! Oh no!
Stealth. Oh my god! Oh, I don't see shit. Boy, y'all done. Huh.
So you do have a stun guns percent. You have your suit. You have your progress of what you're doing and stuff. Yeah, this looks fantastic. This makes me want a ZX Spectrum so bad now. Like, this looks good. And I know it's still kind of basic-ish, but it's still just, it's nice. Oh, okay. She's using her stealth suit.
Getting past all the cameras and stuff.
Nice. And I like that it's a female protagonist as well. That's kind of cool. I like that.
That's always been like one of like my main, like, I love female protagonists in games. So, I mean, my favorite character of all of gaming.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose. Alright, so I don't want to watch. This is a 3-minute long teaser, but last year we gave you the heads up on a seriously cool looking ZX Spectrum and ZX Spectrum Next game called Powerblade, which is in development by N1K-O@NQ_SKRJU and team. Jesus. As a top quality inspiration of the same name, which was released in the early 90s by Taito. Well, there's even better news today, as it's not racing related, as the team have shared new footage of the upcoming Jacqueline level, a level that's 90% complete, featuring the music of Nick O. As we said before, if you've got a ZX Spectrum, perhaps an emulator for the standard version, or a ZX Spectrum Next for this enhanced version, then this upcoming game, with its high-grade gameplay, killing enemies with a boomerang, will most definitely be the game for you. It has great ZX Spectrum graphics, super animation, deadly traps, nasty enemies, addictive gameplay, and from the above video, Not only platforming action, but racing and even stealth-based missions that would give many classic commercial games a run for their money. And for those who aren't aware, the ZX Spectrum Next is a new ZX Spectrum console that plays the ZX Spectrum games. And it actually looks really nice. And made by the original ZX Spectrum makers, or Sinclair. So, there you go. Our next game may look very familiar. Berzerk. Classic 1980s arcade game by Stern gets an NES conversion.
Really?
If you have an NES or Famicom, as we've recently been given a heads up by RVG that Parasoft has released an unofficial port of the original arcade version of Berzerk for NES Famicom console. Why is this great news, you might ask? Well, Berzerk was one of the first games to dynamically generate mazes and have synthesized voices in the 80s. And it's a damn fun game to play as well. I do know that Mr. Mike Matei is a huge fan of that game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, people are going to end up wanting to play this. In this game, you play as the mighty green stickman human in the above image, and must move through random mazes full of robots. To score points, you must destroy robots by shooting at them. To advance to another maze, you can escape through the opening in the wall. It's time to escape after a smiley face that can't be destroyed enters and hunts the player. Be careful, he's deadly. Features: choose between fast lasers and slow lasers mode. 2 players alternate or simultaneous. All mazes. Enemies react exactly as the coin-op version. Robot voices as seen on arcade. You can play it on computer, tablet, or smartphone, the NES Classic Mini, or any console that runs NES ROMs, NES or the Famicom console. So good news for more NES games. Loving that.
Wow. We might have to recap when they actually give us a cartridge release for that, because it's Berzerk, man. I mean,
yeah,
Berzerk
I would love to get a cartridge of that.
When it comes to video gaming history, Berzerk is omni important.
I might actually put that into RetroQuest as well.
Yeah.
All right, Realms of Quest 5, an eye-opening RPG for the VIC-20, is now available.
Okay. Got me interested.
All right, here we go. Let's have a look at the trailer we have here. Oh, wow, you get to make a huge group of people.
Holy crap.
Oh, yeah, we were kind of looking at something similar to this before, I think. This is as basic as it gets. But
yeah, you're talking this is like King's Quest and some like those older, or not King's Quest, Ultima.
Ultima, yeah, there you go. That's, or even Hotlight.
Not Hotlight. Anything but Hotlight.
Actually, Hotlight doesn't have multiple people, so I'm trying to think of that other one. Might and Magic, is it maybe?
Maybe Might and Magic.
I mean, there was one of those NES games where you basically you walk around as one character at a time, but you have a bunch of them. I can't remember what it's called now. Oh God, this brings me back to Golgo 13. Jesus. Anyways, well, we know what type of game it is. So back in 2014, developer Ghislan de Blois released Realms of Quest 4 on the Commodore VIC-20 through the publisher Cytronic. It's another game in the series as a fine tribute to classic style turn-based, party-based dungeon crawlers of the 1980s, with graphics reminiscent of the early Wizardry games. There we go. Wizardry. If you remember those awesome games, you'll be pleased to know Double Sided Games has finally released the sequel to the epic games as Realms of Quest 5 by Ghislan de Blois at HitFan 2000. The previous game in the series had wireframe graphics, a 10-level hand-designed dungeon complete with spinners, teleporters, pits, and darkness zones. Monsters galore, plus a temple to heal your characters, a shop to purchase and sell equipment, and an inn to rest and train levels. But this latest game has gone much, much further. As according to the original write-up, it now requires 32K RAM expansion, has multiple disc sides, hundreds of monsters, characters, and portraits, many different players and classes, a huge party of up to 10 player characters, and much more. You'll just have to see for yourself. So if you're into that type of game, you probably want to grab a copy of this. For your VIC-20. All right, Relentless 64, a fast-paced C64 shoot-'em-up released by Bitplane Technomantes. Oh yeah, I figured Scott would be a little bit more excited for this. So let's full screen. Let's do a little skip ahead. Here we go. Now let's get to the actual gameplay. Okay. It's faster than some of the other C64 stuff we've seen, though.
Yeah, no joke.
It doesn't look like it's the easiest either. A lot of obstacles in the way, and enemy movement is pretty good for actually dodging your shots, it looks like.
Definitely gives me the radius feel.
Oh, yeah. Whoa! Yep, there you go.
Instant respawn, which I really like.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy that your ship keeps twirling around, though. It's gonna make it hard to figure out like where the fuck your hitbox is all the time.
For a game like this, it's probably every pixel.
Yeah, really know.
Games like this have that tendency to be like,
oh god,
oh, every pixel is your hitbox.
So yeah, it doesn't look terrible at all.
Yeah, it actually looks really good.
I'm gonna skip forward a little bit here, see what we got.
So you said this is what, C64?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
It's trippy that your shots actually go through the
with
obstacles. Oh, there you go. Whoa, that is a tight fucking gap.
Yeah, right.
While it's scrolling, holy shit.
I really like this.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Really, really, really nice.
Oh, great. So, Bitplane Technomantes has released a fast-paced shoot-'em-up called Relentless, a C64 conversion of actually a CPC 16 kilobit or kilobyte game Relentless, which was originally coded for the 2013 16 kilobyte cart compo and ending up as a winner in the competition. RGCD has said Relentless 64 is a high-speed, non-stop score-chasing shmup with some neat score-chaining mechanics. The enemy waves come at you thick and fast, and taking out an entire wave rewards you with an increasing score multiplier, setting back to 1 time should you miss a ship or crash. The game features plenty of enemy waves to keep you busy, dangerous landscapes to traverse through, a great soundtrack with inclusive sound effects, chain high scores, and finally multiple zones to fuel your shoot-'em-up addiction.
Looks good. Looks good. Should give it a try. Looks really, really good for some, especially for C64.
Oh. All right, next up we have another one actually. Death Weapon, blasting wave quotas via an arena C64 shooter by C64 CD. All right. Now let's skip to where we get to actually see gameplay. This is different.
Okay, not sure.
I was gonna say you're not shooting anything, dude. Fucking shoot something.
Alright, what am I looking at?
Okay, I'm not a big fan of this, personally. Yeah. It looks like it's just like a one screen thing, but like...
Yeah.
But it seems fairly basic is the only thing, and again...
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, for this sort of stuff, you need to be on multiple screen.
Unlike the scrolling shooters we have been used to playing throughout this year so far, Death Weapon is an arena shooting game in which you need to destroy a quota of enemies in a level before moving on to the next stage. C64 CD has said Death Weapon has a number of inspiration to its gaming style, as the game isn't just inspired by Death Dealer, a simple action game which was developed in the late 80s by Jeff J. Ghislan and exists in a second form as The Perfect Weapon, but also inspirations from games such as Hallucino Bomblets, subgame from Battleix by Jeff Minter and Andrew Braybrook's Intensity. Basically, the game features reversed fire action gameplay, background and parallax graphics, and nifty tricks such as more colors than are usually present on a C64. Okay. So I guess to use some of the data to just import more color. Because, I mean, if you're only going to be using, like, arena style, there's not going to be that much, you know, you don't have to worry about scrolling and stuff, so.
Right. Yeah, definitely, like, when it comes to games like this, I definitely... an arena shooter is... That's a little bit different, so I'm guessing for what it's supposed to be, it doesn't look too terrible.
No, not at all.
But this sort of thing really kind of...
Yeah, it's going to be... It all depends on what type of shmup games you like to begin with. And again, I'm not a big shmup player, and this is definitely not up my alley for me personally, so... Alright, our next one, Ice Cold Beer. Have a drink on us in this new C64 game by Megastyle. Alright, if I have any inkling as to what this is, I'm thinking Tapper.
Like Tapper, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait now, we might be... Oh, wait now. Oh, okay. Wow.
Right. So, this is...
Oh!
Alright, this is... trying to... remember what they're called. People have been making these games themselves, and people have the actual box, like the things that they make, and they call it pinball because it's sort of like what an original pinball game is supposed to be about. But you can find on YouTube where people have actually made physical
games like this. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like this.
I used to play a lot of these growing up, where you have 4 little balls inside of a round thing, and you have 4 little dimples that you have to try to roll it around and get all 4 balls in the dimples without all of them popping out. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, but obviously you're doing one at a time. This actually looks very difficult.
Yeah. That's what they said. These sort of games are actually really hard.
Oh God, yes! Look at this. Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do that quick research.
All right, so the RGCD C64 16 kilobyte cartridge game development competition 2019 was very busy this time around for awesome C64 games. Not only did we have Let's Invade 2, Dice Skater, Robots Rumble, and Lala Prologue to enjoy, now we have Ice Cold Beer to keep our C64 cool through the summer months. This game, released by Megastyle, is an awesome-looking C64 game as a digital version of a mechanical arcade game released way back in 1983 by Taito. As the description of the website says, today in 2019, Megastyle proudly presents a digital version of this great classic, especially made for the Commodore 64 personal microcomputer. To enjoy this game, you will need either 2 joysticks in each port, a joystick and keyboard, or you can play using the keyboard only. Tilt the bar back and forth to nudge the ball into the lit hole, while avoiding the others. When the ball is deposited, the ball and bar return to the bottom of the playfield, and the next target lights up. So Ice Cold Beer C64 was made by Jamie Fuller. All graphics and music were made by Roy Whitting. And it was developed by Megastyle in 2019. So that looked fun. I would play that.
I was not successful in finding what that's called. Maybe I'll try to update that next week.
Yep.
I'll remember that.
Alright, so Galaga announced as the next quarter arcade cabinet with 2 more to come in 2019. Following last year's launch of the quarter-scale replica of the original Pac-Man arcade cabinet, Numskull Designs has announced that it will once again team up with Bandai Namco Entertainment to release Galaga as the second installment in its quarter arcade range. Generally considered as one of the world's most innovative arcade shooters from the early 1980s, the official fully playable quarter-scale replica of Galaga stays true to the original arcade cabinet, with everything from its artwork buttons and joystick to its wire mesh vents and screws exact replicas of the arcade unit. The miniature version of the Galaga arcade cabinet is fully playable and set to play the original arcade ROM on a bespoke emulator. Further, the unit is said to be portable with its rechargeable internal battery, letting you take it on the go or display it at home in attract mode. The Galaga Quarter arcade cabinet is set for release in September 2019, with pre-orders being taken from Numskull's website. Numbskull Designs has also confirmed that the previously announced cabinets of Miss Pac-Man and Galaxian will be available in November 2019, while also revealing that Track and Field, Dig Dug, and Space Invaders will follow in 2020.
Nice. I've seen these machines show up like a lot recently, like even like places like Walmart are selling them.
You can get them at Walmart and Best Buy.
They're really not all that expensive. Like getting like an actual stand-up cabinet for these games are like $600-700. Like the mini ones are only like $200 to $300. So
$3 to $4 here, more or less.
Yeah. So like if you want like your authentic game stuff like that, the minis are absolutely a good buy if you're just looking to like fill out like maybe a little mini arcade.
And before anyone jumps the gun and says, "Oh, this isn't like a real arcade," it's still they're teaming up with Bandai Namco Entertainment, so it's not like they're just ripping it off. It's a legitimate fucking arcade.
Yep, and I've actually played a couple of these. You know, they actually had some of them on display at one of my local Walmarts. And these games, they work exactly like the arcade games do.
And even though they're shorter, and you're thinking, "Oh, well, then I'll be crouched down," you can actually get a little piece that goes underneath it that raises it up to arcade level. So, I mean, yeah, these can be pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. Great for Christmas gifts.
Yes, sir.
Wink. All right. Berzerk is now available for your trustworthy NES. So, yeah, as we mentioned earlier, Berzerk, and I forgot that I had already brought this up somewhere else, but you can purchase it on itch.io for those who are wondering. That was probably the reason why I left it up there. It's available for US $1.99. You can get it at the following link. It's provided as a ROM file, so you need an emulator or another way to play it on your original NES, but that's fine. Alright, next thing we have here is, of course, PC Gamer, not showing me stuff. Knights of the Old Republic with a 3 GB character overhaul.
Wow.
Thanks to ESRGAN, ESRGAN, that's Enhanced Super Resolution Generative Adversarial Networks, a variety of old games are getting spit and polish. You see Morrowind, Final Fantasy VII, and any game with a pre-rendered PS1 background get the neural network makeover with some impressive effects. Earlier this year, modder Red 11BY did the same thing for the characters in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, BioWare's 16-year-old RPG. The mod included new HD textures for every single NPC and coder, both human and alien, as well as HD textures for all the game's armor sets worn by the player character, upscaled to a resolution of 2048 by 2048, thanks to ESRGAN. It's a 3 GB download, but it seems like a worthwhile addition if you're in the mood to replay one of BioWare's best games. You can download it from Nexus Mods.
There you go.
And honestly, if you haven't played Knights of the Old Republic, it's good.
I've played Knights of the Old Republic, and I'm not even a Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a good game. A lot of the older Jedi Academy and stuff too. Those are all fantastic Star Wars games. Well worth the play.
Yep.
All right, and our very last thing: Final Fantasy VIII Remastered release date, news, and rumors.
Can't wait.
Square Enix's E3 2019 conference had a lot in store for Final Fantasy fans. Alongside new gameplay footage of the upcoming Final Fantasy VII Remake, Square Enix also revealed it is remastering Final Fantasy VIII for the modern era. Personally, after Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy VIII is my second favorite Final Fantasy game of the entire series. Take that, Final Fantasy VII people, Scott.
Well, I can't say that Final Fantasy VII is my favorite. That definitely goes to 6.
Oh.
But I did not have the opportunity to actually finish Final Fantasy VIII. So like this new remaster is going to be like a definite purchase for me, and I'm definitely going to look forward to, for what I understand, that there's going to be updated voice acting in the game. So I'm really like, ooh, this is going to be something exciting for me, and being able to actually finish Final Fantasy VIII for me will be like that little, feather in the cap for like, hey, I finished like all the Final Fantasies from 4 all the way to 10 at this point. So, and for what it's worth, for the screenshots that I've seen about the remaster, just for like the couple of screenshots. The Squall and Renoa screenshot there. They had one for Keystits.
Mm-hmm.
They all look really, really good. So,
seeing as they have a remaster trailer, let's go have a look.
Oh, we have the trailer.
Oh god! And this right here, or actually that first scene when you first turn on the game, that's what actually attracted me to this game to begin with. That looks fantastic so far.
Mm-hmm.
Everything looks. This is what we wanted. This is what we were missing for Final Fantasy VIII. Now I can understand how Final Fantasy VII fans have been feeling with the remaster. This is fucking beautiful.
Give me some more of that Renzoku can.
Because I mean, the fucking these cutscenes that they had throughout the entire game were fucking amazing for the PS1.
Yes, sir.
Like for that time, it was just like, oh my god, this is crazy good.
And I can't wait to see the entire opening new scene, like this Squall versus Cypher fight. Like, ooh, it's gonna be so good.
Yep. Oh my god.
Let me throw out there that my favorite Final Fantasy character time is Renoa. So I'm just
nice.
gonna nerd over Renoa, but I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
I play this game, folks. I play this game, and my playmat is a Renoa playmat.
Nice.
And it looks so good. And
yeah, whenever I do this for fucking RetroQuest, I probably will be playing the remastered game, because this looks so much nicer.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered was officially announced at Square Enix's E3 2019 conference, but we didn't get many solid details about when exactly the game will release, or what the remastered visuals will actually look like. The announcement trailer revealed that the remaster will arrive sometime in 2019, but didn't specify when. This is a remaster, not a remake. It's important to note that Final Fantasy VIII is being remastered, not remade like Final Fantasy VII. Yep. What exactly does that mean? The Final Fantasy VII Remake is a complete reinterpretation of its original game, which means that while fundamental gameplay, story, and title will stay the same, almost every other aspect of the game has been redesigned for the modern era. Square Enix is essentially making an entire new Final Fantasy VII game. However, a remaster involves improving certain technical aspects such as sound and graphics of the original game to bring it more in line with modern titles. In the case of Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, Square Enix has revealed the game is getting new and improved visuals alongside the addition of some quality of life features. Some new features. Alongside improved visuals, the Final Fantasy VIII Remaster will be getting a bunch of new quality of life features to make gameplay a bit smoother, including new speed options, an option to skip random encounters, and battle assistance. Wow, random encounter skips? Final Fantasy VIII Remastered on PC will have its own exclusive features such as customizable system settings, an option for players to acquire all items, abilities, cards, and specials, and the ability to max out in-game currency, character level, and spell supplies. Voiceovers. The original Final Fantasy VIII didn't have voice acting, but it looks like the remaster may be getting some. According to a post by NeoGAF user Ultros, the Final Fantasy VIII Remastered website source code suggests both English and Japanese voiceovers will be added. The source code says, with fully overhauled visuals, see your favorite character come to life like never before. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered is an RPG available in English and Japanese voiceover, and is also text localized into French, Italian, German, and Spanish. I am fine with them not remaking the game. I don't think it needs to be remade. I think that, honestly, it was ahead of its time. I mean, when you compare it to some of the other Final Fantasy games, they kind of have this kind of medieval, technological kind of mix. But Final Fantasy VIII kind of made you feel like it was like a technological advanced society right from the get-go. Gunblades? I mean, come on. Yeah, you know. So, yeah, no, I'm very, very much looking for a remaster of Final Fantasy VIII. It's going to look spectacular.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm looking forward to this a lot. Like I said, I haven't been able to finish it. And, you know, there are some really good players out there who's like, hey, I can make Lionheart in Disc 1. Like, bitch, how? Like, how? How do you Lionheart in Disc
I've
1?
100% of this game the only time that I finished it, and I enjoyed every fucking minute of it. Once you get to some of the later parts of the game, you will find yourself addicted to doing what you're trying to do and not wanting to stop. Like, usually with most RPGs, I can say, okay, I've done some grinding, I'm good for now, I'm just going to put it down and go do something else. I found myself always coming back to Final Fantasy VIII. As soon as I put it down, I'd be like, oh yeah, I should have went and done this. And I'm like, oh, let's just power on for another, like, 5 minutes, and 2 hours later. So.
And let's just say the triple triad is the Blitzball of Final Fantasy VIII.
Ooh!
Throw that out there.
Oh, yeah, triple triad is a fantastic card game as well. That's, yeah, that's so good.
I think out of all the mini games, out of all Final Fantasy, Blitzball is definitely my favorite, but triple triad is a very, very close second.
Oh, God, yes. And, yeah, Blitzball is really nice too. Yeah, I did enjoy Blitzball quite a bit.
I'm hoping that this remaster does some. They said they were going to change some things about how you get magic. I'm really hoping that there's going to be an option in there where you can just be like, you don't have to sit and continuously draw over and over and over again. Yeah. I hope there's a system where you could just be like, hey, I just want to sit here and grind fucking Ultima over and over and over again, but it's going to take me an hour. Maybe there'll be an option in it where it's just like, hey, you go to like a draw station. It's like, hey, do you want to max this out? Instead of taking a half hour to an hour of sitting there and just drawing one Ultima over and over and over and over again, you're gonna be able to just go to a draw station. Boom, you're maxed out.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think that was like one of like my main complaints for the game was the draw system is a little.
That's what everyone's complaint was with the game, was the draw system.
And well, that and the junction system was really complicated.
Yeah, once you got used to the junction system, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
but
I just got auto junction all the time.
I will also admit that when I first played the game, I wasn't a fan of the draw system, but I came to accept it and didn't actually mind it eventually because, again, the gameplay itself and the story was so good that it kind of trumps a little minor inconvenience, is what I'll call it, more than anything else.
Agreed.
So, but anyways, that is it, everybody. That is our podcast for this week. A lot shorter than usual, I know. So, but again, there wasn't much news for either one of us. We don't want to go and embellish on news that we don't really
care about.
Yeah, to make it as blunt as possible. Yeah, because I mean. There's a lot of stuff that we could cover, but I mean, why are we going to cover something like Battlefield or there was so many Fortnite stories that I'm not going to cover that. I mean, you could do a whole other podcast
on Fortnite when it comes to like new season stuff or something like that. Like, hey, season 10's gonna
well, something that you would find important enough, exactly.
Right, but I'm not going to sit there and tell you about every little update when there's a new gun or a new skin or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not important.
So
yeah.
There we go. So, yeah, I guess the only other thing, we didn't have a topic. We did kind of do a small kind of feedback thing, just trying to find out from people what they did like, what they didn't like. A lot of people have more or less said that the podcast was a little long. We're hoping to try and keep it under 2 hours as best we can. We're taking out the gaming deals, but I think with what we have right now, we're up to like an hour and 35, more or less.
Right.
And so, I mean, if we added a topic, that would bring us up to about the 2 hour mark. I think that would be generally good. It's just, I think we got to just try and stick within a certain amount of topics for news and stuff.
With our own certain idioms, sir.
Yeah.
Idiom.
And there are times that, you know, if I see that there's like 50 new fucking NES games coming out, I'm probably going to tell you about every single one of them. I'm not going to be like, I'm only going to pick 10. Like, no, I'm going to be like, guys, 50 NES games, it's going to be a 5 hour podcast. Don't like it, use the timestamp.
Yep.
But, yeah. No, we're going to try and keep it under 2 hours whenever we possibly can. But, I mean, sometimes we're going to run over. And if there is a lot of news that we feel is important enough, we're going to give it to you. So, no Kickstarters this week. I didn't really see anything that was overly stand-out-ish. It was mostly a lot of stuff that we've already covered. So, I left that alone for this week as well. But, yeah. Other than that, I think we covered some great stuff. Really looking for that Final Fantasy VIII Remaster now. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're going to see who can we host. Because we're going to be hosting somebody up, but we'll be back very shortly for some Diablo. So
one time, boys.
Oh, boy. So we're hoping to see some of you guys back for that. Again, if you're busy, no big deal. Thank you for joining us as well. Let's have a quick look here. Oh, let's host up. Here we go. Scott might enjoy these people as well. we're going to host up Moonbeam Arcade. It's usually Pete and Amber. They do their little streams. Well, I shouldn't say little streams. They do their streams of old retro games. Pete actually worked on console games back in the day as well. So he actually has real life experience with game development and all this other great stuff. He is now a video recorder of fetish pornography, I think. So anyways, we're going to throw you over at Moonbeam Arcade. Have yourselves a good evening. We'll see you next week for another podcast, another Retro Indie Pixels podcast.
Yep, and we will for those that are still here, we very soon Diablo.
Indeed. Have yourselves a good evening. Say hello to Moonbeam Arcade.
Hitting the